East the deal, Jeter. Gratitude is the attitude. The show is a blessing to be back in the black box as we blow a succession. I usually had a black screen up since we've been doing the StreamYard when I first come on. But when I look at the social media platforms, I don't like the way that look as a streaming. So I prefer you to see myself. Then I'm going to get into an intro situation where I let the people gather, the Google gang, the Blue Wrench Mob and all that. You already know how we do it, how we give it up. 97 ways. Matter of fact, yeah, I'm going to start with the intro first. Bam.
Nigga Net Hustle. Big shout out to my nigga SPI, Spotter Low. You know, I'm in the black box. I had to come through, tap in, show love one time. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Stay tuned. All that.
It's the homie Cook-Up Boss, goddammit, Cub Low. And y'all tuning in to the Wake and Bake Show with goddammit the homeboy Spider Low.
Here with SPI, the realest nigga in LA.
Spider this bitch.
My name is Spider Low.
Spider Low, nigga.
Spider Low.
Spider Low.
Spider Low.
Spider Low.
Spider Low.
Spider Low, that's my nigga.
Spider Low. Spider Low.
Shout out to SPI, that motherfucking nigga.
You are now in the black box with the homie Spider Low, the most eastiest. Facts over feelings, keeping it a Google Plex. Feel my campaign.
Spider Low, Wake and Bake. Better keep it Google, nigga.
Loke is in LA somewhere doing what he's doing.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. 97 ways we gon' live it. You can't tell me shit about my crippin'. I done been a loco my living. Now it's time to chase me a bag. 97 ways we gon' live it. Bay Mac in the building. 97 ways we gon' live it. We gon' live it. 97 ways we gon' live it. You can't tell me shit about my crippin'. I done been a loco my living. Now it's time to chase me a bag.
100,000 feel like something when you're thumbing through it. Done it when some would say one would be dumb to do it. Running circles round rappers on their last lap. PayPal perhaps. Ass cap the cash app. Ass app is how I expect the next direct deposit. Positivity love phone posits check the closet. To say we touching paper is an understatement. Underground label running late, tell them run the payment. Executive decisions, check the balance. Time to monetize the talents, I accept the challenge. Memory a crazy tune, 111 days. Loco for my days, 97 ways.
97 ways we gon' live it. You can't tell me shit about my crippin'. I done been a loco my living. Now it's time to chase me a bag. 97 ways we gon' live it. Bay Mac in the building. 97 ways we gon' live it. We gon' live it. 97 ways we gon' live it. You can't tell me shit about my crippin'. I done been a loco my living. Now it's time to chase me a bag.
Unable to fake it, fuck how they take it. Heard about the meeting, I was able to make it. Just sick of watching Sherm heads squabble each other while the judge steady handing out lottery numbers. It go down year round, ain't gotta be summer. Life's a bitch and niggas never get apologies from her. Dumber, big and little homies frequently locking. Don't see no other options, that's the reason they flocking. SPI ain't the nigga, how you figure fat? Gift the gab, every gig get a bigger bag. Either name your price or it's appropriation. Finesse game, nigga nice with negotiations.
97 ways we gon' live it. You can't tell me shit about my crippin'. I done been a loco my living. Now it's time to chase me a bag. 97 ways we gon' live it. Bay Mac in the building. 97 ways we gon' live it. Google gang. Straight legend. Google gang. SBI. Google gang. Google gang in here. You better keep that shit up Google when you mention me. First sign of disrespect, I'm turning Hercules. It's gonna be a lot of shirts pressed, rest in peace. Keep it a Google, better keep it a Google. Keep that shit Google when you mention me. First sign of disrespect, I'm turning Hercules. It's gonna be a lot of shirts pressed, rest in peace. Keep it a Google, you better keep it a Google. Keep it a Google. You better keep it a Google. Better keep it a Google. Keep it a Google. Google, baby.
Bottom line, love life, show us a blessing. Pull up politic and blow us a session. Spot a local most easty. No mistake in the station. They making them statements. We waking and baking. Word of the day,
BBC on replay, the marijuana-thon with VJ Keyway, BS and BS. Killing on the track in the black box, we never put feelings over facts. Bay Machiavelli, run me the bread. I don't get mad, I get money instead. I be high, you can tell by a nigga eyes. But wise enough to enterprise, you dig a lies. Contemplating with the Google gang, conversating. Counting coins while these cowards in the comments hating. Only thing count, my count getting another comma. I'm a magnet to the money on my mother mama.
Better keep that shit a Google when you mention me. First sign of disrespect, I'm turning Hercules. It's gonna be a lot of shirts press, rest in peace. Keep it a Google, better keep it a Google. Keep that shit Google when you mention me. First sign of disrespect, I'm turning Hercules. It's gonna be a lot of shirts press, rest in peace. Keep it a Google, you better keep it a Google. Keep it a Google. You better keep it a Google. Better keep it a Google. Keep it a Google. Google, gang.
If you can't keep it a Google, then don't mention me. Run a check through the set, I bet them niggas mention me. Red Bull and Hennessy, I keep the same energy. No matter on a solo or a couple homies with me. Tell them come get me if they want confrontation. I keep a couple shooters with me. And we right here waiting on shit to pop off. Take a nigga top off, you tempt me. All that BS, you can miss me. Slide down Century, doing about 60 in the gutter lane. Faded off yak and drop the pistol, hopping out the rain. I won't change, keep it a Google the only way. Mention me, I come out and play. That's on the gang. We are not the same. I ain't nothing like these rap niggas. Hanging with bangers, no bodyguards. We all strapped, nigga. All truth, no lies. Facts over feelings. We ain't gonna start something we can't finish. Google gang.
Better keep that shit a Google when you mention me. First sign of disrespect, I'm turning Hercules. It's gonna be a lot of shirts press, rest in peace. Keep it a Google. Better keep it a Google. Keep that shit Google when you mention me. First sign of disrespect, I'm turning Hercules. It's gonna be a lot of shirts press, rest in peace. Keep it a Google. You better keep it a Google. Keep it a Google. You better keep it a Google. Better keep it a Google. Keep it a Google. Google gang.
Jeter, gratitude is the attitude. Once again, this show was a blessing to be right back in the black box as we blow a succession. Like I said, I'm trying to make this a daily occurrence. Y'all have no idea how much time I spent just trying to find something to react to. That's how interested I actually am in the majority of the content that comes across my feed, at least. Maybe I need to start following some pages because I don't subscribe to many, if almost any. Mostly all the pages I subscribe to on YouTube, I realized I subscribed to them on accident at one point or another. I accidentally pushed the subscribe button because I get distracted with too much content. But then as a content creator attempting to do consistent reactions, I limit myself by relying on my natural interest and inclination to be interested in the majority of the things that are being discussed, and I'll be limited on conversation for y'all. So it gets to be somewhat difficult. So I'm going to have to follow some pages that's discussing some of these current issues and topics so I could be more up on what's popping and what's cracking. Y'all see the title. I'm not reacting to this piece of content in order to take sides, find a right and wrong, good or bad. I have a real personal interest in it just based on the fact that the name Musa is in it and it's alongside the title president of TDE. And although it may be a distant relationship, I feel like I'm somewhat of an uncle to Musa. I watched him grow up from a very young boy to a young man. And there's been distance in our connection from that point up into, his early driving days, around up in that age. I can remember until now, he pop up on the internet on my feed, and he politicking from a CEO president standpoint of a label. And me just seeing the blueprint, the landscape, the foundation laid for him to be there, I just have a sense of pride and, I'm happy to see that being fulfillment. I have lyrics that I have not actually recorded to put out. I have them recorded somewhere in pre-production when I was recording myself on my laptop. But they start off saying, and it's somewhat a letter to Top Dog or a summary of our interactions. And they start off saying, we locked in when Tupac Pops was your top producer. I watched. You was a real proper Pops to Musa. And Tupac Pops just happens to be, what's the cat name that plays Tupac in the biopic, Demetrius Shipp. When I first met Top Dog way back in the day, late 90s, early 2000, his main producer was Demetrius Shipp's father, Big Meech. Not Big Meech, BMF, even though he's BMF affiliated too. He my homie Meech from 190, but he's a producer that did the Toss It Up beat for Tupac and other beats. He did a lot of R&B shit. However, so that's why the bar started off with, we locked in when Tupac Pops, talking about the actor of Tupac. When Tupac Pops was your top producer, I watched. You was a real proper Pops to Musa. Since then, you've been on a hell of a run. I used to know them. That's what I'm left telling my sons. I don't know about heart. I haven't committed it all to memory. To say, let's say, shit was always like family through the years with us. We used to laugh at all these other weird niggas. I'm gonna get it together. But anyway, before we get into the reaction, that's my real interest in the reaction. Is just seeing Musa from my memory, kind of like when I just did an interview. Shout out to Panda Chop News. I did an interview with him yesterday, and he asked me about my interest in the Marquise 50 Cent drama, and he kind of reacted or responded to my actual reaction to the shit when it was popping, and it reminded of my sentiments. And my whole approach was out of love and concern for Marquise and his interest in the situation, based on the fact that he was a child that I met as an adult through my relationship with his father. And it's ironic that they both names start with M, but Musa and Marquise, to a large degree, would play the same part in my life as me feeling like an uncle with my experience with them and the respect and love that I would have for them now that they're adults if I ever encountered them, based on the way, our whole experience just started. So they Eminem together, Marquise and Musa. That's quite ironic. But before we get to the reaction, I'm going to make a clip of this. So I want to speak on it. And it's totally off the subject. But right now, recently, before I started this live, while I was waiting on it, it's been breaking news that Blueface apparently has been the victim of a stabbing. And only way I fall under this impression is because multiple people have sent me clips to my Instagram DM from his Instagram of post of not only that he posted an incident in the gym where it looked like he took flight, looked like he had some gloves on, at least some sparring gloves, but it looked like he was having an altercation with a man with jeans on that was not quite prepared to be doing no sparring outside of the ring. And I couldn't hear any audio, but it seemed like it got heated just by the energy. It looked like Blueface took flight on Cuz, and then the dude kind of stuck back. There was somebody standing between them as well. There's always something to say for somebody that likes to take flight around a person that's causing a division. But anyway, I seen dude sparring with Mayweather recently. He might got something, cause he's far less experienced than Mayweather, and nowhere near on the skill level. He's larger, but he got a real stiff, strong jab and some confidence that it takes to be in the ring. And to be up under that tutelage might work for him. Looked like he got a little something. Of course, he was intimidated by the fact it was Mayweather, but before he let the intimidation settle in, he kind of tried to stand in there and do a little something. I got to say, it was admirable the way he stood in there with the champ. But anyway, he got off on Cuz, and then the video stopped right where it looks like dude pulled out a knife and was getting ready to hit that. And then I saw another video where he seems to be laying in a hospital bed. Looks like it's a leg wound gauzed up, and he's speaking, and he's saying, man, I can't make the fight. Apparently he had a fight in October. And he's saying the fight is going to be canceled. And I just don't understand. Like, I see cuz on a lot of little content, and it seems like every other word be like schoolyard, crip this, crip that, on my mama. That's crazy because I sent the Top Dog the video that that was ready to premiere. As it was premiering, I said it'd be big and nephew could tap in, and he responded. He say he in a marketing meeting. How long will you be on? I'm just gonna tell him a little while. Let me know. Shout out to Top and Musa, the whole TDE camp. But anyway, cuz posting these videos, and if indeed someone pulled a knife and stabbed you, that seems criminal. If there's evidence that's video that you are posting, that seems like it can be an exhibit. And I know when it comes to acts of violence, once there's enough evidence in place, you don't always need the victim's participation to bring forth charges. And to me, that just seems a little ratatouille. I mean, super cripping, super active, and you getting into acts of violence, and then you broadcast it. Kind of remind me of King Ellis saying he got shot at. I don't understand how that fit into what we consider cool on my mama, but it does remind me of the fact that I am aware that he was involved in an act of aggression, violence, allegedly, according to himself in his report to the police, somewhere near Valencia, in like 2018, I believe, around in November, where he named the individual by the name of Tester. He gave his government name in a report, and he allegedly was a victim, according to his statement, along with the statement of Cash and Kim Jones, that he was allegedly a victim of robbery. So there is somewhat of a pattern that's developing, because I know it don't take a rocket scientist to understand if you get to swinging on a nigga and he defends himself with a weapon in 2023, I mean, he might be on probation or something. I mean, regardless if you go to press charges, he might get a violation. Why is that being broadcast? Unless that's a stunt stage. And the only way I want to throw that in there and consider that is because, Hold No 100 is in management. He's the same person, say he squabbled Mike Tyson. But anyway, I just want to speak on that because it's breaking news. So once we finish this live, we'll make a clip, cool little thumbnail. Y'all know the game. That's my thoughts on that, without being no hater, because dude looks like he got a presence in the ring that can be developed. That might be a future for him. If he got, that's a lonely road though. But he got a cheat code with the celebrity status. He ain't got to go to the road of the hungry, starving boxer. If he take that serious, he seemed like he got a ring presence that could be developed. I say that. Now we're gonna get into this reaction. It's my nephew Musa, TDE, calling in the Bacc on FiGG. Like I say, I just have the pride of a long lost uncle, remembering a young man that grew up admiring me from a very young age, being very respectful, very close to me. I was in his actual home that he grew up in because Top Dog had a studio adjacent to his home. You didn't have to enter the living portion to access the studio, but they were connected. So Musa, as a young child, always had access to come out the big house and just pop into the studio. And at one point, I want to be humble with this, but at one point in his life, I think I may have been the biggest rapper he knew, and he knew me quite personal. His school life and my personal relationship life used to bleed over. He used to come tell me what little female said and shit like that. So when I seen pop up as the president, I know the blueprint that went behind that. I watched Top Dog raise him in a way that I really admired. And I would like to say I pattern. Top said he told Musa to hit me when he get out. So hopefully we'll get him to tap in while we still doing this. But I watched him raise his son in a way that I admire to an extent like this. I don't, Top is a real personal, quiet person. He don't expose much, but I think he would not be upset with me for just sharing this because, for one thing, everybody know Top affiliation, and he was heavily saturated with that. He is what he is. He a boss in everything he do, and he raised a son to be outside of that actual activity. However, I can remember Musa's first car, and it was like a hand-me-down from Pops, but it wasn't no bullshit hand-me-down. It was clean. It had rims. It was only a few years old. It was red. And as much as his father did not want him in these streets being no bullshit nigga, fucking up, breaking the law, going to jail and all that, at the youngest, tenderest age of him being able to be out here driving on rims, a wise, responsible father that did not want his son to get caught up still felt like the wisest move was to make sure the vehicle was equipped with something aftermarket, very sophisticated, technical, mechanical, that can house and hide some defense mechanisms. That was the flyest shit I ever seen in my life. Dude was still in school. And then from my recollection, I was around him for quite some years after that. He wasn't the type to get caught up in no bullshit behind that. His son, Top knew his son well enough. He could have him out there like that, and he wasn't gonna be out here pushing the envelope. Similar, opposite of what we kind of see T.I.'s son doing. Musa never, he went from being a young boy to a very mature young man right before my eyes. But I saw the guidance, and it's no wonder he's on this platform dealing with boss talk so fluently, because I know where it come from. Cuz seen this shit from day one. He grew up as a boy, just seeing his father go from always being a nigga with his pockets that was decent, but he had a dream, he had a vision to accomplish things within the industry that he didn't really know how he was going to do it. And he saw his father just play the game, play chess, and trial and error, go from this type of status, that status, until y'all see what they at. And that was Daddy could sit him at the driver's seat, man. I salute that, man. So let's get into this reaction. He called in the back on FiGG. Like I said, I'm not here to pick sides. I'm just proud of nephew. And it's some interesting content. I can see some of my experience of artists kind of play out in this situation. I've heard Reason's name. I don't know him at all. I believe he's from an area quite familiar to myself. I know he's from Carson. I believe he's from DA. But we're gonna check it out. He called in the back on FiGG. Well, Musa called in the back on FiGG while he was there, and they had a conversation that kind of went somewhere. Now, there's suspicion in the commentary world that this might be somewhat staged. They say Reason had a project coming out, and as soon as Musa called in, first thing out his mouth was, "Let's go viral." But then the conversation got kind of touchy. And once Musa hung up, it seemed to get kind of personal from Reason's perspective. And the thing about it is, as I just listened to Musa do his thing, it's like, no matter how touchy the subject matter got, he maintained the same emotional level. And that's his pops. Like, his pops know how to deal with very tense situation without really giving up his poker face. He know how to emit the energy to let you know the situation's serious without fluctuating in emotion a lot. Not saying he don't get mad, but Cuz probably got mad at me one time that I can recall. He got mad at me multiple times just because he was a big homie, mentor in the whole scenario. But he only let that anger really sound like something one time. And that was because on multiple occasions, he used to tell me not to smoke in the studio. I was like the only cigarette smoker they used to frequent there, smoke outside. But I had a habit of being in a booth and just blowing a gang of cigarettes on my mama. And Cuz gave me a few passes. And then one day he must have came through that motherfucker and smelled some Newport smoke that I left behind and called me and barked me out like I was this little homie from Banyana on my mama. It's all respect to Top. I accepted it. I apologized and all that, but he was hot about that. He let all the emotion come out, told me I was bullshit for not, checking myself after so many warnings. Salute the Top. Here we go. This
You know what I'm saying? We got my boy Moose calling in, man, from TDE, man. What's the deal, man? You online? What's the deal, man?
I'm cooling, man. What's the deal?
What's going on, man?
I'm calling in to go viral.
Yeah, let's go viral.
Let's pod.
Yeah, because
you know, hey, Mac, you know, like niggas don't even be getting on here talk. Normally, us nigga at TDE, we take the downfall when niggas albums ain't coming out, and it's never us holding albums. If niggas want to drop records, niggas drop records. You know what I'm saying? But niggas never gonna jump on line and air shit out. But Big Reed, you want to have a convo? Let's have a convo, man. Sound like.
Let me say this: we doing reaction to the commentary. I want to get in right there. We know this is playing out online, and this is a generation later from the original TDE president. This is his son. But what he just said, if you just look how long TDE has been established as a label, you got to imagine there's been drama, plenty of it behind the scenes. It doesn't bleed over online. The silent power and the silent influence when it comes to this industry is the most efficient. Like, y'all wouldn't understand the influence Top really has in this game because he not doing interviews, he not going live, he not trying to surround himself with a bunch of wolves and go on camera and prove how tapped in he is. He kind of like does the opposite, and that's where the true influence and power lies. So it is kind of ironic, and that's why the suspicion that it might be somewhat staged, that the TDE is allowing their drama to bleed over into the public, because that is not their MO. That's not the way they get out. But I want to salute the two of them, the way neither of them let it get too funky. It seemed like they both kept it intact and with respect.
It sounds like you don't want to be here, damn near.
No, I never said that. I said I would never do it no other way. Let's go viral since you want to do it. Come on.
Hey, let me start by saying this though, right here. Hey, T-Real, can you name me 10 Reason songs right now? You from LA? You a LA native? Can you name me 10 Reason songs right now?
No.
Why is that?
A lot of people don't know this, but the best way to make money on YouTube in 2023 is not by becoming.
I gotta call low blow. That's the first low blow, because respectfully, it don't take 10 to make an impact. That question would have been more fairly asked if he just said one, and what's the one that has caused a presence? That 10 question, that was kind of a tall order. Oh, wow.
I have
Mac,
no fucking.
Mac, hold on. Mac, from the team, Mac. Can you name me 10 Reason songs?
Of course.
Honestly. Name them.
No. What's a funny ass nigga?
All I'm trying to say is, right, even when niggas say niggas came in at weird times, hey, Dave, my nigga, Doc, my nigga, I love them niggas. Dave never wanted us to sign Reason. He called him a substitute teacher.
Get your shit off, Moose.
Dot always said that Reason had talent, but it's gonna take more than
because the cadence is less tone and bass and bottom in it, but the cadence of the talk, that's like a tiny top dog. Oh, my mama, cuz you know how men raise young men and you attempt to breed them, shape them, mold them, guide them. You let them be themselves, of course, but you try to give them as much game as possible, especially if you have built something that is worthy of handing over to a successor. And I could just hear the elation in how he talking. Oh, my mama, that's Tiny Top. That's what I call him now, Tiny Top.
Just talent in this game right now, and everybody know that. If you talk about weird times, you got Rayvon got motion. Rayvon ain't got an album out, a project out yet. You got Doechii, she got motion. She ain't got an album out.
Niggas is trying to be funny. Wait, hey, Moose, you burnt out. Let him cook. Let him cook, bro. Let him cook, bro. Let him cook, bro. Let him cook.
Even when I hear niggas saying features and everything, keep in mind,
cook.
like, oh yeah, you could have got an ESTG feature, but what does that do for Reason? Like, what is that gonna do for Reason? Like, even when you say you can't get in contact with SZA and all that, like this, like you didn't have features from everybody. including Q. I'm
Shout out to Q.
I'm just trying to understand it, man.
Shout out to Q. You want to have a conversation or you want to go viral? Which one you want to do?
What is the difference between going viral and having a conversation, and what is wrong with a viral conversation? I'm curious.
You want to do? Let me know.
I'm just
let me know. Let me know. You want to have a conversation or you want to go viral?
Just be consistent. Just be consistent.
I'm being consistent. I'm being consistent. Huh? I'm being consistent. So I'm asking you want to have a conversation or you want to go viral? Which one you want to do?
I'm just trying to have a conversation.
Okay, bet. All right, bet. And conversation go two ways. It go questions asked, questions answered. That's what the conversation is. You got like you want to go viral. That's what it sounds like because the monologue is viral. The conversation is something that
say this. Reason ain't no dummy. He is a sharp individual as far as understanding what's going on, analyzing it, expressing himself, and seemingly being realistic about the actual scenario and the ramifications of everything involved. He's calculated the situation he's in, which could never be a good one if you are not satisfied or happy with what's going on in an environment like TDE. TDE is not your everyday average label. It's not a bunch of strangers running in and out cohesively trying to fulfill their personal career goals. I'm sure Top Dog has acquired some of that level of employment because the machine takes some non-personal relationships. But you don't understand, this is his baby boy that's having this conversation with this artist. That dynamic is a lot different than just being in conversation with a top A&R or president of a label. It's a lot different, and I got to commend Reason for apparently being quite aware of that and being quite selective of the words he chooses to say. Shout out to the whole balance of the conversation. T-Rail for being such a friendly instigator. It's a skill that I see he is mastered. He uses comedy to get it started and to be able to get out of it and allow the two counterparts to do they do. I mean, we can't be too surprised he did sit up under the master of this shit for real, for real. Shout out Adam 22. It's kind of interesting to see it played out in real time on my mama.
Ways. Which one you want to do?
No, man. I'm just answering your question.
I didn't have no questions. I didn't ask you not one question. So I'm saying.
Just answering your statements. I'm answering your statements. I'm just answering.
Okay, so tell me one thing. Tell me one thing I lied about.
About as far as what?
Let me tell you another thing. I don't know right or wrong. Reason could be 100% wrong. He could be 100% right. But that confidence and arrogance that he displaying toward the boss of the situation, let me tell you through personal experience, it only can lead to your detriment. He too sharp, too slick, too confident. And while he's feeling like it's probably due to that low blow of naming the 10 records, but he's showing a defensive posture that cannot serve you well when the individual that you're discussing controls your entire destiny when it comes to the career that you're discussing. And when you've gotten this deep with someone, it's not as easy as being dissatisfied with the conditions and walking, because once they've made a certain amount and level of an investment, then they're going to want to be compensated for a lot. And usually there's a multiplication on the actual numbers spent. So you get into murky waters.
Tell me one thing I lied about, because you felt a way about what I said. So tell me one thing I lied about.
I'm saying that you obviously
you felt a way about what I said. So tell me one thing I lied about.
You sit in a room with
all right, cool. I didn't lie. Cool.
Now, artificial intelligence can generate ad creatives automatically. The program is called Ad Creative AI, and it.
I didn't lie.
You sit in a room with A-Man who don't know your music, Rob. You sit in there with T-Real. I'm telling you that you can't blame nobody.
I didn't blame nobody, Moo. I didn't blame nobody.
Hey, T-Real, do it.
I did not blame nobody. I did not blame nobody.
Nigga blaming the label or no?
I said I haven't been consistent enough because I haven't been allowed to drop. That's a fact.
Hey, T-Real.
Tell me if I'm lying. Tell me if I'm lying. Just tell me if I'm lying, bro. I said I have not been consistent enough because I haven't been allowed to drop music. Tell me if I'm lying.
I don't think nobody has stopped you. You ain't never came into me.
Cool. That's all I want to know. I just want to know.
And nobody said no to you.
I just want to know.
You dropped the most music out of more than anybody.
I didn't never ask you to drop multiple EPs. I didn't play multiple EPs. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, if we want to, are we going to have a conversation or we going to go viral? Because we can have a real conversation, Moo. Like, everything I've said so far, wait, hold on. Everything I've said so far has been,
I don't y'all being
exactly. All love.
I'm not, when I said,
I can't help but relate to the artist side of the conversation at this point. Because, like you say, like I tell you, I'm fully aware of the confidence that Musa has. And although he is born and bred being privy to the industry, the development of great artists, legendary, historic artists, he saw the failed artists, he saw the almost artists, the close to artists. And this is something like how people say, I grew up in the hood. He was also exposed to that as much as his father would desire him to. That was nothing that he was stranger to. However, people say, all I know is this from day one. My daddy was this, my uncle was that. Well, he can actually say from day one, he watched the industry be brought into his home as a child. He know this shit. I don't like, but that will also cause someone to bring their personal energy into a business situation. And when you're signed to a family business, you be up against shit that you might not be up against at a regular label. If you don't hear the confidence, the lack of concern, and I don't mean for the artist, but for the lack of consequence on the label side when it comes to the way Musa's talking, is because he's fully aware that from a standpoint of adversity against the artist that he's speaking, he has all the chips in his. He's in full control. The label is in full control. There is no way this artist could win going rogue. No disrespect to Reason. At this point, the way the industry operates, all the interest that has been developed in his brand is based upon his association and the investment from Top Dog Entertainment, and they will leverage themselves in any attempts to do future business on his behalf. So therefore, any future interested parties have to be interested to the degree that they would not only be willing to acquire you and what that will cost and to promote and produce you, but they will have to also be willing to dig you out of the financial hole that TDE is going to present. And that's how the game go. I just seen it firsthand when 50 was trying to sign Mace from Puffy. 50 had all the intentions on. You see, he ran around and told the world he was a G-Unit artist. He toured with him, worked with him, released records on him. And when it came down to it, it didn't go through because Puffy said he wanted $2 million and 50 felt like at that time, for whatever reason, that wasn't a fair price. And Reason, without me knowing the details and not taking sides, of course, being fond of Musa and TDE as an entity and as persons, I also can relate to him as an artist, being articulate, sharp, aware of his situation, but so aware that he has to be careful how much arrogance he allows to come out in his presentation, especially on a public platform, because TDE ain't taking no L's. You're going to have to be a super. You never even seen Kendrick. We've heard buzzes and shit of displeasure over there, but you ain't heard even Kendrick say nothing adverse to the machine over there. You got to be careful.
I don't want to argue. I'm just not the nigga that do it public.
You are. You called. You just called.
Nobody.
You just called.
I'm addressing what you said.
You just called. I said stop me when I'm lying.
Let this speaker.
I said stop me when I'm lying.
To you right now. You get an interview by T-Real right now.
I said stop me when I'm lying.
5 of your songs.
I said stop me when I'm lying.
The nigga cannot name 10 of your songs, 5 of your songs. You probably can't even name 3 of them. But let that speak in volumes to you.
You know Mac can name 3 of my songs. Like this be the weird shit, bro.
Mac defense, he is steady crumbling Herb, and we know the effect that Herb has on your memory. So he'd be put on the spot. You feel me? As soon as that's the type of shit, as soon as the camera go off, you name 30 of his songs and be like, damn, I was tripping. Shout out to Mac. Oh, wow, that was fucked up. But see, Watch this. The M word, manipulator, gonna come up out of Reason mouth, and I'm a comment on that.
I'm right here rolling up dope. Like, bro, he already named. He named two. Don't put me in nothing. He named two while he named two while he been on the podcast. He named two while he been on the podcast, bro.
Get the fuck out of here, nigga. I'm back on FiGG,
All I'm trying to say,
he named two while he been on the podcast.
T-Real got this whole ball rolling now. He just quiet and laughing, cold nigga.
Ooh, though, that door open now. Don't worry about it. That door open now. That door open now.
That's all I'm
that
saying.
door
Man.
open. That door open now.
Saying,
it's all love. That door open.
Oh shit!
That door open.
Out Porsches on Friday, bitch ass
That door
niggas.
open.
Porsches, hey, this ain't, you know what I'm saying? Hey, Porsches on Friday open. For sure, man. All I'm saying, I ain't trying to.
That door open.
Nigga, I love Reason. I think you talented as fuck. But when you get on the air and you start pointing fingers at the
I didn't point no fingers, bro. I answered questions.
Make or break your career,
Shout out to Dochi. I never said she was. This nigga's a master manipulator, bro. He's a master manipulator.
There it go right there. There it go right there. You should not have identified that as a fact, especially if you're dealing with someone whom is such as you described. And I want to let you know, in order to matriculate yourself as an independent label, nobody named TDE, Top Dog Entertainment, just named after yourself, no splash pizzazz to that whatsoever. And to maneuver yourself to the top of the game with one of the most iconic artists known to the genre now, and successful female artists outside of the hip-hop genre with SZA and the Grammys that J-Rock, I mean, just with all success that TDE has experienced, you best believe it's going to take a master manipulator to pull that off. And that would be Top. And you happen to be dealing with Tiny Top. Yeah, that's why you see no emotion, no anger, no fluctuation in voice tone, vocal tone from Musa, because if not anything else, I can attest to the fact that I would believe and bet by the time Top let him run around and call himself president of TDE, he has grabbed that skill of master manipulation, which it takes to be a boss, not only in these streets, but in this industry. So that's why I know Reason ain't no motherfucking dummy. He know what he's dealing with.
He's a master. I never said Dochi would make or break my career. I never said that niggas is the reason. I never said a feature would make or break my career. I never said a Dochi feature. I never even said Dochi's name besides Dochi is incredible. You're a manipulator.
I know
You're a manipulator. You're lying. Like, this is the type of shit. I've been telling niggas, stop me when I'm lying, bro. All I said on this podcast was my only.
I gotta say something right there, cuz I wish Chili, my boy Eastside Herb, was in here, because through countless of conversations, I even said I'm a branded phrase. As I'm on the internet, I wanted to do segments called Stop Me When I Lie. Or at different times when I was addressing different issues, I would propose that as I do it, I was going to say, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to just invite the whoever to stop me when I lie. So that particular phrase caught my ear, because that's something that I personally say in my own life. When I'm going through a series of statements, I often insert the phrase, stop me when I lie, to make obvious to the person listening to me there are no lies involved. That's crazy he said that.
Issue is being consistent, and I have not been allowed to be consistent. I played you all of y'all 3 to 4. I played you 3 to 4 EPs. I got them in my Dropbox. I can send out the link. All of them that we planned to shoot videos 3 years ago. But you can't say quality because the same records on the EP are the ones on the album, but y'all letting it go now. You can't play the truth game with me, bro. You can't play the truth game with me. I promise you that.
You sit in a room with
This is what you gotta learn with dealing with powerhouse labels. And I learned this. The truth is, it don't matter, bro. The truth does not matter when it comes to what the label proposed initially and what's actually taking place. Because the way the game goes, the label is going to propose to you the best case scenario if everything goes correctly, all the stars are aligned. Our naivety, coming from where we come, does not allow us to be aware of the fact that that's what's going on. We think that's the most probable scenario. And we go in starry-eyed thinking we're in for a gravy walk to the top. And then when whatever takes place, and it could be a variety of reasons, the label's interest does not match what they proposed to you initially, and now you're stuck trying to figure out how you gonna make sense of the situation and make it work. The truth very seldom matters, homie. It breaks down to influence, relationships, position, power, investment, and debt. Those are the things that are relevant, not the truth.
You can't play the truth game, bro.
None of your music.
That's fine.
Quality
That's
music.
fine. I promise you can't play the truth game with me, bro.
T-Real, why are you interviewing people if you don't know their music?
I promise you, bro. You can't play the truth game with me, bro.
Because I love y'all.
Maybe it's
Hey,
on
Musa, asshole. But I one more again, I gotta say, you sound like a tiny Top. That's exactly what Top would have asked him at that point, man. If you don't even know just the sarcasm, it's like it's genetic. Oh my mama.
Is he from TDE?
If you edit video in Final Cut Pro, then this is for you. We've changed over 50,000 filmmakers' lives with the ultimate.
And see, I ain't gonna never tell on Top, but what Reason probably knows exactly what I know. Top for years until to this day. And I ain't telling no Top, but he ain't the one to play with. Oh, my mama, in any form or fashion. He not to be played with. So if he's done anything for you that is to be appreciated, you kind of like, he always leaves you room to be separate from him from that day forward, to where all you can do is appreciate what he once did. Because he very seldom, in my understanding of him, has come to the table looking for help or a favor or a need or desiring assistance. He always comes to the table with a proposition and a budget day one. And that develops a different leverage and dynamic for you as you maneuver throughout this industry.
It's one of the reasons.
Shout out to Top Dog Entertainment.
Let's be 100.
Let's be 100. 1,000%. 1,000%. Let's talk about it.
Where was you? We just said how many people was in the room when we just was working on this Q project, T-Real?
You said how many people was in the room?
Yeah. Where was we just at? What the last place I seen you at?
Yeah, in Q movie theater for like 15 of us.
Another reason I want to salute Reason, because you don't see him sweat. He don't break his cool. And I know what it's like to be watching your CEO on a live stream, and in a similar, not identical scenario, his audience bring you up as a subject of interest in a friendly fashion, and then the CEO demote and downgrade the actual product that you had available for market in association with his company and your overall brand. It is a very demeaning feeling. I don't know why this transpired for a reason, what the dynamic is between him, TDE, and Musa personally, but I know in my personal scenario, I had not earned that type of representation from my label. So when it took place, it's not a good feeling. It's not a good feeling whatsoever. It goes against everything that the person is known for, which is being great at business, and it is horrible business decision to do that. Even a person who has a horrible product, even in their mind frame, when it's time to go to the public, it's time to sell the product. So that was just one of the most backward gestures I had witnessed at that point up into the game. So for him not to get super emotional and angry while being demoted by his investor, I got to give him props for that.
Right. It's just motion, bro. It's just motion. Like I said, Reason talented as fuck. Like, nah, he wouldn't be from the label, but these conversations, like, hey, cool, it's just a conversation. This your opinion versus mine. Nigga, like, you can't point a finger at nobody, especially when you see Ron moving the way he moving.
I'm not
especially
pointing no
when you
finger.
see Doechii the way she moving. I got another artist.
I'm not gonna say nothing bad about my. I'm not gonna say nothing bad about my label mates. I'm not gonna say nothing bad about my label mates, bro.
And as I'm not gonna make this personal, I gotta interject that in my scenario situation, while he's saying, you see how Wooty was moving, in my situation, I was also amongst a group of artists. But if you had to say, you see how so and so moving and so moving, I was the one moving the most. If you wanted to compare artist for artist, I was the one being more involved in outside activities that were not generated directly from the label, that were bringing value to the situation, being more proactive. The artists that were more established in myself around me were learning more from me as far as being independent in a promotional sense than I was actually learning from them. I was learning from them a mainstream perspective and things that they had experienced, but about taking it hands-on and being proactive about creating awareness about your own personal situation. I was a pioneer that amongst my counterparts. So that's a little different, while Musa is pointing out to him that he may be not at the forefront of that energy in their circle.
One of the most talented rappers in the city. Shout out to Big Dutch.
All right, y'all. We out, Boost. We out.
You get the interviewing niggas and shit on me. Do your Googles, man. Hey, tap in with the team.
Hey, don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. Don't nothing to do with this
shit. Shout out to the president of Top Dog Entertainment talking about a Top Dog artist. Shout out to that.
Lord Jesus, man. All right, Boost.
As much as he spoke about him, he spoke to him. Just to be clear, but shout out to the Top Dog president, the Top Dog owner, CEO, founder, and the Top Dog artist, and to the Top Dog host and the original host from Bacc on FiGG. Shout out to everybody involved, because for one thing, I can acknowledge this is a very touchy, sensitive situation, and a lot of grown men handled it without allowing emotions to take control. They dealt with conversations that they didn't necessarily want to deal with on a public platform, that didn't put them in the best light. Dealt with sarcasm on behalf of reason, and then he did not get ignorant. However, I want you to know, I can tell by his level of intellect, he know the last thing that he wants to do career-wise is get into an actual online back and forth with his label. It's going to be hard to develop interest to be equivalent to what TDE provides at this juncture in his career, just based on his positioning on the chessboard. It has nothing to do with talent whatsoever.
Shout out to that.
Hey, look.
Shout out to the president of Top Dog Entertainment.
No, he didn't say nothing about you. I don't think
he called in about me.
He called in
about me.
But just to keep it transparent.
Keep it. I told bro, I'm not one of them sensitive niggas. I'm not one of them niggas you got to beat around the bush with, bro.
Let's keep it transparent.
Keep it transparent, motherfucker. We transparent.
Yeah, keep it transparent.
You keep it transparent. We came straight in this motherfucker bash.
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
you
yes.
was going crazy. I asked.
Keep it transparent.
Let's keep it transparent. You asked
the
me.
way your project is being dropped and the way it's being let go, the way you're being marketed right now is not up to par. You feel me? And you feel like, and you feel it's
just
to
let
your
me know when
standards.
I can talk. Yeah, I'm with you.
It's not up to par to your standards, and you only can direct that to one person or a label. And that's where you're directing it to, and not yourself. Because he's basically saying have some accountability, but your accountability is saying not consistent.
Now, see, this is conversation that has developed based upon apparent previous appearances on platforms by Reason. And I guess he spoke about a lack of satisfaction with his situation. That's something I'm not aware of or up on. I don't know what he said or what could have caused irritation enough for Musa to come online outside of the TDE tradition and discuss any type of label confusion in front of the public. I'm talking about to the point where shortly before Neighborhood Nip died on my mama, he showed me some video footage of some TDE affiliates. They was having an event at the Marathon store where that nigga Nip was so fly with his marketing. Go get the 22 immutable laws of branding. because that's the book that he suggested out of a number of books that I actually went and purchased, and I have benefited from the 22 Immutable Laws of Branding. But he was having a branding of a certain one hat out of a whole line of hat and clothing that he's put out, and it was a high-end function, like so many in the majority, if not all, of his functions at one point in his life, and he had Top Dog presence on the property. And as they was promoting this one release of a certain style of a hat, a certain edition, and unbeknownst to me, while they was up there doing that, it was a viral moment. Everyone was aware that it took place based on Nipsey posting it and it being online. But right before he died, he showed me some footage in his phone of some Top Dog people that I know very well, won't give up no names, politicking in the back parking lot of that Marathon store, where actually somebody's hand made contact with somebody else's face. And this is shit that was going on that TDE don't even never let bleed over. Oh, my mama, they wasn't on the east side. They wasn't in Watts. They wasn't nowhere else where they known to reside. They was out and about taking care of real fly business. And the fact that they is who they is and the politics bled over to that moment, they regulated right there in the 60 hood, right behind the Marathon store. And I wouldn't have known nothing about that, but Nipsey showed me that video on his phone on my mama.
No, I didn't. You just said not enough consistency, but it has to be more there, though.
No, I didn't. And I love having this type of conversation with a nigga that goes back far with the family. And I say family because I still don't look at it no different type of way, even though Moo did that.
Yeah. That's why I feel comfortable being all up in this and inserting it, not disrespecting anyone, but giving my perspective, even if it disagrees with anyone involved, because I go way back with the family, and that's the TDE family. And I'm talking about Top Dog. I call him Dude Dog. In my phone, his name still is Dude, but Top Dog and Musa in particular.
Yeah. But so what I said specifically was my issue.
I think that's why Moo did that too.
Then that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, exactly. What I said to niggas is that my main issue has been consistency. I also said taking accountability on myself and running back if I didn't. I said I have not found a way to break through the internet and on social media to create that motion. I said that. I also said multiple times, I'm not blaming the label. This is a conversation, because you asked me, why are you dropping out of nowhere? I didn't bring that up. I'm answering questions. If niggas want me to get on platforms and lie, then that's a completely different situation.
And it's not you can tell the truth, but still actually telling the truth and being transparent.
I did, but did I not say that, Mac? Well, just be honest. Did I not say that my issue is that I did not create enough motion, internet wise and social media wise? Did I not say that? I said we can run the tapes back.
You said that part.
I said that. I said both parts. I said consistency. That's the part that I haven't been able to do. And I said creating motion and creating my own situation outside of that on social media. I said both parts. Why niggas choose to listen to one part is their own business. You get what I'm saying? But what I like about this type of shit is that these are the type of things that I've already been feeling.
When it comes to longevity as an individual, his skill set, his articulation, his passion, and his way to stand in what he considers to be the truth is going to serve him well. In this particular situation, behind closed doors, he's going to be deemed an asshole, a smart aleck, know too much, and all that. He too sharp. He too sharp to be, in his own words, manipulated by a master manipulator. He's onto it, and that's what he's dealing with, master manipulators. And now he's calling out the gig instead of staying in the cut and being a master manipulator himself and trying to shift the leverage. He's so sharp. He's identified the scenario, called it out. And now the master manipulators with all the power are going to play their pieces to their benefit.
Is shit that niggas want to say, but they got to get to that point to say it. So think about it like this, and I'm fine with it. Like I said, I've been feeling, you know what I mean? Like I've been feeling this way. Like niggas had a personal issue with me. This is the president of a label calling in to bash an artist on his label. That's just a fact. I know you I get it, you family, so you ain't gonna say
I'm
that.
not gonna say
That's
no.
just never been done before. It's just never been done before.
It's
never been done before.
I'm gonna be devil's advocate.
Please do.
But or he could be protecting the label's image, because like literally on the Joe Budden shit, it was like a whole bash session from your take.
You got to be real though, because you saying that, but niggas ain't see that Joe Budden interview. It was not no bash session. I said the same. I know what I'm saying, because you've seen it, but you saying it like I just went on there and bashed it. Anybody that want to go and look at the interview, they can. I did not bash the label in no type of way. Actually, niggas was there with me from the label, and they even said, "Nah, you did not bash."
It don't matter if you did or you did not. You apparently make controversial statements, and like in court, pleading no contest is just equal to pleading guilty. Saying anything controversial is equivalent to bashing, bro. You got to be careful. Tiptoe.
You just are telling the truth. So if me telling the truth about certain situations, bro, every situation not gonna be perfect, and this is what niggas gotta understand, bro.
Yeah, I feel like
is that in a business, every situation not gonna be perfect. You're not gonna always have the perfect situation with everybody, bro. You're not gonna always agree. I don't agree on everything Moo do. He don't agree on everything I do. It's gonna always be that way. Top don't agree on everything I do. I probably don't agree on everything Top do.
But I understand what where you coming from. Saying? Also, because I've been in that situation too, where we feel like.
Looking for an easier way to get that LLC next to your business name? Say hello to Taylor Brand. You just go to their.
We couldn't get.
Look,
and I say
I ain't finna stretch this out. My interest in the overall scenario has kind of expired. I want to salute to everybody in the chat, everybody that tapped in for the reaction. Like I say, I'm gonna make this more of my program. Find things somewhat interesting that we can run through, and I'm gonna make it daily. And then the goal is to get to multiple times daily. And at this point, we're gonna call this a conclusion. Shout out to Bacc on FiGG, shout out to Musa, shout out to Reason, shout out to Top Dog, shout out to the Blue Wrench Mob, shout out to me, shout out to you. And for Def Doe, I'm gonna do what it do.
Google gang, straight legend. Google gang, SBI. Google gang. You better keep that shit up Google when you mention me. First sign of disrespect, I'm turning Hercules. It's gonna be a lot of shirts pressed, rest in peace. Keep it a Google, better keep it a Google. Keep that shit Google when you mention me. First sign of disrespect, I'm turning Hercules. It's gonna be a lot of shirts pressed, rest in peace. Keep it a Google, you better keep it a Google. Keep it a Google. You better keep it a Google. Better keep it a Google, keep it a Google, baby.
Bottom line, love life, show us a blessing. Pull up politic and blow us a session. Spot a local most easty, no mistaking the station. They making them statements, we waking and baking. Word of the day, EC on replay. The marijuana-thon with VJ Keyway, BS and BS. Killing on the track in the black box, we never put feelings over facts. Bay Machiavelli, run me the bread. I don't get mad, I get money instead. I be high, you can tell by a nigga eyes. But wise enough to enterprise, you dig a lies. Contemplating with the Google gang, conversating. Counting coins while these cowards in the comments hating. Only thing count, my count getting another comma. I'm a magnet to the money on my mother mama.
Better keep that shit up Google when you mention me. First sign of disrespect, I'm turning Hercules. It's gonna be a lot of shirts pressed, rest in peace. Keep it a Google, better keep it a Google. Keep that shit Google when you mention me. First sign of disrespect, I'm turning Hercules. It's gonna be a lot of shirts pressed, rest in peace. Keep it a Google, you better keep it a Google. Keep it a Google. You better keep it a Google. Better keep it a Google. Keep it a Google. Google,
If you can't keep it a Google, then don't mention me. Run a check through the set, I bet them niggas mention me. Red Bull and Hennessy, I keep the same energy. No matter on a solo or a couple homies with me. Tell them come get me if they want confrontation. I keep a couple shooters with me. And we right here waiting on shit to pop off. Take a nigga top off, you tempt me. All that BS, you can miss me. Slide down Century, doing about 60 in the gutter lane. Faded off yak and drop the pistol, hopping out the rain. I won't change, keep it a Google the only way. Mention me, I come out and play. That's on the gang. We are not the same. I ain't nothing like these rap niggas. Hanging with bangers, no bodyguards. We all strapped, nigga. All truth, no lies. Facts over feelings. We ain't gonna start something we can't finish. Google gang.
Better keep that shit up Google when you mention me. First sign of disrespect, I'm turning Hercules. It's gonna be a lot of shirts pressed, rest in peace. Keep it a Google. better keep it a Google. Keep that shit Google when you mention me. First sign of disrespect, I'm turning Hercules. It's gonna be a lot of church press, rest in peace. Keep it a Google, you better keep it a Google. Keep it a Google. You better keep it a Google. Better keep it a Google. Keep it a Google. Google, bang. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. 97 ways we gon' live it. You can't tell me shit about my crippin'. I done been a loco my living. Now it's time to chase me a bag. 97 ways we gon' live it. Bay Mac in the building. 97 ways we gon' live it. We gon' live it. 97 ways we gon' live it. You can't tell me shit about my crippin'. I done been a loco my living. Now it's time to chase me up back.
100,000 feel like something when you're thumbing through it. Done it when some would say one would be dumb to do it. Running circles round rappers on their last lap. PayPal perhaps. Ass cap the cash app. Ass app is how I expect the next direct deposit. Positivity love phone posits check the closet. To say we touching paper is an understatement. Underground label running late, tell them run the payment. Executive decisions, check the balance. Time to monetize the talents, I accept the challenge. Memory a crazy tune, 111 days. Loco for my days, 97 ways.
97 ways we gon' live it. You can't tell me shit about my crippin'. I done been a loco my living. Now it's time to chase me a bag. 97 ways we gon' live it. Bay Mac in the building. 97 ways we gon' live it. We gon' live it. 97 ways we gon' live it. You can't tell me shit about my crippin'. I done been a loco my living. Now it's time to chase me up back.
Unable to fake it, fuck how they take it. Heard about the meeting, I was able to make it. Just sick of watching Sherm heads squabble each other while the judge steady handing out lottery numbers. It go down year round, ain't gotta be summer. Life's a bitch and niggas never get apologies from her. Dumber, big and little homies frequently locking. Don't see no other options, that's the reason they flocking. SPI ain't the nigga, how you figure fat? Gift the gab, every gig get a bigger bag. Either name your price or it's appropriation. Finesse game, nigga nice with negotiations.
97 ways we gon' live it. You can't tell me shit about my crippin'. I done been a loco my living. Now it's time to chase me a bag. 97 ways we gon' live it. Bay Mac in the building. 97 ways we gon' live it.
Nightwood Net Hustle. Big shout out to my nigga SPI, Spotter Low. You know I'm in the black box. Had to come through, tap in, show love one time. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Stay tuned. All that.
It's the homie Cook-Up Boss, goddammit, Cub Low. And y'all tuning in to the Wake and Bake Show with goddammit the homeboy Spider Low.
Here with SPI, the realest nigga in LA.
Spider this bitch. My nigga Spider Low. Spider Low, nigga. Spider Low.
Spider Low.
Spider Low.
Spider Low.
Spider Low.
Spider Low, that's my nigga.
Spider Low. Spider Low.
Shout out to SPI, that motherfucking nigga.
You are now in the black box with the homie Spider Low, the most eastiest. Facts over feelings, keeping it a Google Plex. Feel my campaign.
Spider Low, Wake and Bake. Better keep it Google, nigga.
Loke is in LA somewhere doing what he's doing.